All right, this is a question from the 2012 practice exam. We have a function f of x equals ln x over x, and we want to know the absolute maximum value of f. All right, so maximums occur when the first derivative is equal to 0. All right, so we're going to have to find the derivative of this function, and then we're going to go through the first derivative test. All right, so let's find the derivative. So we have f prime x. We're going to use the quotient rule. The derivative of the top, and this is one that we memorized, times the bottom minus the top times the derivative of the bottom, and the whole thing is over the bottom squared. All right, let's clean that up a little bit. And we're going to get, well, these are going to cancel out. That's just going to be 1 minus ln x all over x squared. Okay. I'm going to give us a little more room. All right, so now we want to figure out where this is going to equal 0. Well, I'm going to get just a reminder of ln x. If we look at ln x, we get this function here. Okay, that's ln x. Okay, so some interesting points that we're going to have. Obviously 0, when x is 0, something occurs here. And also, when does ln x actually equal 1? Well, one of our other rules says that the natural log of e to the 1 is equal to 1. So the other point that we're going to test, x equals e to the 1, or just e. All right, let's go through our first derivative test here then. I'm going to do 0, and I'm going to have e. So anything less than 0, well, if we look, we actually can't be less than 0 in our graph. So this whole thing kind of breaks down when we're less than 0 because ln x doesn't work. All right, so but let's try definitely between 0 and e. So 1 would be a good choice here. That's between 0 and e, and we know here on ln x that the natural log of 1 is actually going to be 0. So this becomes 1 minus 0, which is 1 all over 1. That is going to be a positive number, and our function is increasing. Let's try something greater than e. Remember, e is like 2.71, and we want something greater than that. Like I said, don't be afraid to go really big. We can go 10 or 20 or 100. Doesn't really matter. We can see that if we go really big here, we're going to get numbers that are greater than 1. Okay, so this whole top here is going to end up being negative. And at the bottom we square, so it's always going to be positive, but that means our function is going to be negative and we are decreasing. So we are getting a maximum value at e. So e is where our maximum value occurs. Let's take a look at what the absolute maximum value is. So this is where it occurs. We want to know what it actually is. So we're going to go back to our original function. Again, let's give ourselves a little bit of room here. We're going to go back to our original function, and we're going to punch in f of e. Well, that becomes the natural log of e. Oops, e. That doesn't look good. Let's erase that. The natural log of e over e. Well, we just said here the natural log of e is 1 over e, and we're going to get b.